Hello, friends from the comic and manga world. My name is G,
And I'm Hector.
and we're here to talk about the September 8th, 2025 FOC. Hector and I, we work for Penguin Random House. So the titles that you see today are from those publishers that we represent. Aside from this YouTube channel, we're also on Facebook and Instagram and on X at PRH International Comics, where we'll post some news and updates on those channels. So definitely check us out there. And we'll go ahead and get started on our picks for this FOC. And first up is actually Hector's pick,
Yes, it's
but
me.
also mine. I like this title too.
Yeah. I had a feeling if didn't pick it, you probably would have picked it.
Yeah, I would have picked it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Bronze Faces number 6, cover B variant. This is the by Ijiwa and Ebenebe. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. This is from Boom Studios, and this is the last issue of this series, written by Shovo and Shoff, and it is illustrated by Alexandre Tefenkiki. Tefenki, sorry if I mispronounced. I know I mispronounced that one. Um, and it's a very cool cover, which we'll talk about in a minute. I just want to say a little bit about this series. I gotta admit, this is one that I missed. We didn't, we weren't distributing Boom when this started coming out, so I am regretting that I missed it. That didn't pick it up when I went to the comic book store. It is a story about it's the story about, I'm gonna go very lightly, but really it's about these two childhood friends, and they're from Nigeria, and they basically um, go to London to a their presentation of some art from one of their the parent of one of them that had a collection of Nigerian art and different things. And at some point, uh, they start looking at everything that they're seeing, all the stolen art that the British that is at the British Museum, and they decide to at some point to do a heist and kind of steal back a lot of that art. Um, I'm going very lightly over it. I recommend you go read on it if you don't know the story, but I know many of you already know. I'm late to the game. Um, and this promises a very, very great conclusion, not only about the heist and all of that, but also about what happens with the friendship of these two main characters. So I'm really into it now, and like I said, I really regret that I'm late to it. And the two writers are from Nigeria, and Alexander Tefengeki, if you don't know, he's half Vietnamese and I think half from East Africa. And I love his art. And then we have Ejiwa Ebenebe, who's also from Nigeria, who hasn't done a lot of comic art, but is a very big artist in other mediums. And this cover is just amazing. The fact that you have this mask sort of breaking apart and a lot of pieces floating around. Um, and it's a lot going on, but you also see sort of the face coming from behind the mask. The colors of this are also so beautiful. I don't know if you want to get in on some comments, G, since you also love this one. It is so cool.
Hmm. Hmm.
It just one of those covers that as soon as I saw it was very striking to me, and I wanted to see even more. Um, I'm sure I haven't caught everything that it's in this cover. G is more about is better with details than I am.
Oh, just I just really, it's just striking to see. It looks like
Yeah,
the bronze sort of masks melting off of the like one of the characters' faces, which is a
yeah,
beautiful image here. So yeah, it's very striking.
yeah. And I wanted to mention, I forgot. So also I wanted to mention that Alexandre Tavengeki. I'm a fan, follower, because he's done work in a lot of other comics, but especially in one of my big favorites from Boom, which is Once Upon a Time. at the End of the World by Jason Aaron. So I just wanted to mention that he did work there, and that's one of my very favorite books from Boom. And that's it.
All right, and next up, my pick, Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 1. This is variant B done by Chalky Wong. And this is basically the new Tales of TMNT, but it's based on the newest Ninja Turtles animated series. So the premise here is essentially Donatello is invited to this prestigious robotics camp for genius kids, and he's excited to rebuild Metalhead and compete for the camp's prize for best robot. But
Mhm.
competition goes haywire. Donatello is forced to wonder, like, who really invited him to this competition? I think there's something more going on there than meets the eye. And what do they really want to do with Metalhead? And I picked this cover. It's just, I love it. You can see the street view, but like on the below or above. It's like upside down.
Yeah, from above.
Or I don't know, from above? No, no, no,
Yeah.
no. It looks like they're on the roof, right? Now I'm
Yeah, so
looking
it's a
at it because
view
you see the
from
windows
above. It's a
from
view from
above.
above. Yeah.
They're from above. And then you can see them just hanging out, lying down. I just really love this image,
Yeah.
having some pizza. It's really cool the way the perspective is shown on the cover. So I really enjoyed it, the look of it.
Next up is Dungeons and Dragons: The Fallback Series One, number one. This is the cover A by Marguerite Savage, and this is the comic book written by Greg Pak, illustrated by Wilton Santos and Edvan Alves, and this features the first time in comics of the group The Fallbacks, which is a party that was introduced in the Dungeons and Dragons book, The Fallbacks. Dungeons and Dragons: The Fallbacks, Bound for Ruin, that came out last year. So right there is we have a first appearance that is very big. And this group is a very eclectic group party, and they just real quick, it includes Anson and Fighter too stubborn to stay down, even when the odds are stacked against him. Kasrim, a self-taught wizard determined to test her theoretical mettle against the real world. Baldric, a cleric who refuses to tie himself to a single deity when he can trade favors with them all. And Lark, a bard with as many secrets as songs. And, of course, Oogie, a monstrous pet Otyug who loves giving hugs and eating trash. I don't think we see the monster on the on the cover, no. But yeah, and this story sort of continues the adventures from the novels, and it sort of sees this group, the fallbacks, kind of arriving in the city of low water in search for gold and glory, but they have an encounter with a group of thieves, and they have to decide whether they're gonna uh, pull off a heist of the ages, or will they sacrifice all this to become heroes in their place. So it sounds like fun. It sounds great, and the art for this from Marguerite Savage is amazing. It really is a great introduction to this group into the comics. It is You can see their personalities and their powers on display here, but also very beautiful colors and sort of mysterious things happening in the background. There's a mysterious creature in the background too, sort of the shade, of the shadow of it. I love this cover. It really drew me in.
I like the strategic position of the issue 1 number. It looks like it's
Oh,
coming
I
from
didn't
the
even know. See, you notice these
staff.
things. I didn't even notice
As
that.
she's
That is
poking it.
cool. That is a very cool detail. I love that. Yeah.
All right, and
All
speaking
right.
of really cool covers, this is the full
Yeah.
art version. Hello Halloween returns in this issue number 1. I particularly chose the Jeremy Bastion cover. So essentially this is an anthology series. It has like basically these horror chilling installments, bone rattling stories, and it's in time seasonally for the fall and for spooky season. And of course, on this the creative team here, of course, the big horror name, R.L. Stein, is on this one here, who's obviously well known for the Goosebumps. And then we have for the interior artist, Carla Borelli on this as well. So really cool art. It's just very freaky.
Yeah,
We have this like headless pumpkin with this dialogue that's entwining them all. That I don't know if you can see it, it says ha ha ha,
yeah,
like roped around all of them, and this really creepy looking cat. I just think it was really cool. And
yeah.
yeah, I really like the cover
It
here.
really looks like the art that would be on tapestry in medieval times in
Yeah.
a very old castle. It's really cool, or a
Hmm.
very old tome of horror stories or mythology from the medieval times.
Hmm.
Looks great. Hey, and now we have Spider-Man and Wolverine number 6. This is the Greg Land Muppets variant, of which we have many Muppet variants, but I had to pick this one. This is celebrating the Muppets 70 years. I grew up watching the Muppets. I love the Muppets and Jim Henson. So I definitely love all these covers, but I had to pick this one because it's one of my favorite characters ever, the Swedish chef. And of course, I mean, it's so cool. This homage to obviously Wolverine number 1 by Frank Miller with instead of claws, 3 wooden spoons. And the chef is looking just very chefy. I don't know what to call it. He's just looking at us and taunting us with his finger. Come get it. And if you know the Swedish chef, you know this is it really fits the character very well because there's always shenanigans happening in that kitchen. So very cool. Check out the other covers; they're all amazing as well. And yeah, gotta love the Muppets for sure.
Next up, Murder Podcast issue number 2. This is from Ignition Press, but we have the cover here done by, there's a really gory cover done by Jeremy
Yeah,
Hahn. I read issue 1. It is very gory, which
yeah,
surprised me, but in a good way because
yeah.
they don't leave the brutality aside. It's very much
Mm.
apparent here. It's also a very interesting premise where, if you haven't heard me talk about it before, this is a character here named Mina, who is very much a true crime podcast fan, and she decides to listen to one called Dead Sounds, or like she hears about this, and she essentially anyone who listens to this podcast, something sort of overtakes them, and to the point where they almost like act like zombies in a way, where they just do this. They just decide to go on this rampage of killing for anyone who listens to the podcast. So it's a very no one knows what's happening, at least in like at the first issue, and it's quite a mystery of how this has happened. We have characters who have a personal stake in the situation that they're dealing with. First issue ends with a cliffhanger, so this is why I particularly want to pick up issue number 2, because like I need to know what happened next.
Yeah.
So it's definitely for true crime fans, or not, because I don't typically listen to them, but this got me really invested when I read the first issue. So really excited for this. Interior, well, the creative team, I should say. I mentioned Jeremy Hahn, who also did the cover, but then we also have Mike Tesseron, who did work on Netflix's The Dragon Prince, which is very different, but a creative name set is very recognizable on this project.
Yeah.
Very creepy cover too.
Yeah. Speaking of creepy covers, we continue with the creepiness with 30 Days of Night, Falling Sun #1 cover. We have the cover A on the right, and we have a variant retail incentive 1 in 25, full art, both by Chris Sheehan, who's also the illustrator for this book's interiors, written by Rodney Barnes. I am so excited because I'm such a big fan of Terry 30 Days of Night, and I'm glad that it's back. Um, and uh, and not only back, but also back into the town of Barrow, where it all started. And I mean, there's so many side stories that came after this, and some took them, the characters or the stories outside of Barrow. So I'm glad that we're coming back. Um, and on there's not much on the description other that it's been 2 decades since the past, since the horrors that happened in Vero, Alaska, and those who remember, there are some who remember it, and then some who don't know or weren't alive, and they don't think they're true. So it's kind of become a legend. But now there's a new menace coming from, again, from Romania, and it has its sights on Barrow, uh, the place where Vicente was, the leader of the vampires was killed. So again, really excited. It also mentions Dylan and young character, new character that is fleeing the gang violence in Los Angeles to make a fresh start. And I guess he picks the wrong place to make a fresh start. Love this cover. Love how you see the sun going down before the 30 days of night start, I'm assuming here. And you have a character sort of walking towards the town of Barrow in the snow in Alaska. But you see above that the face of a vampire with bloody mouth and teeth kind of waiting for for them there. So very cool. Uh, Again, I can't be more excited for this. I'm such a, like I said, I'm such a big fan, and I know there's a lot of big fans out there who have been waiting for this return. Awesome. Very cool.
All right, and our piece of news for this week, you may have heard already from Marvel, Meals to Astonish issue 1. This is Giuseppe Camuncoli, and this one is culinary focused, if you didn't notice.
Yeah.
It's a one-shot that collects on the Marvel Infinity digital comics on their app. There was the acclaimed Test Kitchen comic that was done by Michelin star chef Paul Eschbach and artist EJ Sun. So basically, what they're doing is they're taking that digital comic and putting it into print in this collection for the first time. But it's not only that, it will include like all new adventures by writers like Steve Orlando and artists Ken Nomura and more. So there's more included here. So a little bit about that new adventure story that's going to be involved. We have the Daily Bugle food critic, chef Shawoski, and we have this photographer with him. Who's that photographer? Peter Parker. They're
Of
headed
course.
downtown. There's an opening of a brand new world-class restaurant. But of course, who interrupts them? The Rhino interrupts the festivities. It's up to Spider-Man and his friends to save the day and their dinner in this case. So these are heroic adventures that are really heroic adventures mixed with things that will make you hungry as you're reading through. And I mentioned the Infinity comic, of course, is going to be in here. And then we have Jeff's Table. So this Jeff obviously captured the heart of fans, the land shark, and so he's going to win you over with your stomach. So we have Jeff the Land Shark's Appetite, Marvel's most adorable superhero gets to mess around in the kitchen. So you have a story included with that as well. So really fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. I can't wait to pick it up. And
Yeah,
I love this cover because I
yeah.
was I was looking at this. I'm like, who picked up what?
I know. I was gonna say it's so
Like
fun to just
Wolverine
look at how they're
skewers.
eating. First of all, but what they're eating.
Yeah.
It is
Their
very
choices. They
eclectic.
made choices.
Yeah. Even though I guess everybody decided to drink bubble tea. If
Oh
you
yeah,
look at it,
bubble tea is
yeah,
everyone.
everybody's drinking bubble tea, but the food is very yeah, and of course, yes, you mentioned Wolverine with the with the skewers, but I love that Captain America is a burger. This
It's a
is Captain
burger, yeah.
America. It has to
It
be a
has to
burger.
be a burger.
Yeah.
And of course, Miles Morales back there is with a slice of pizza.
Pizza, of course. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm
yeah. No, everything is. I can't tell what Venom is eating though. I can't really see what Venom is
I'm
eating.
guessing it's like either a hot dog or a like a sub or a hoagie. I can't
Yeah,
tell from
something
my
like
camera.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Just curious. Very, very cool.
But it's a
Love
cool
it.
cover.
Yes, 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 yes.
And that's it for this week. Thank you all for joining us. As always, Hector and I, we enjoy doing these on a weekly basis. So definitely check us out in our other videos that we have on this channel. Comment down below on what you'll be interested in picking up on this FOC. That's it for today, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Take care.